Chapter 3. The Political Storm Before the War. It began long before the first shot was fired, before the trenches, before the smoke, before the cries of war echoed across continents. There was tension, invisible, unstoppable, growing like thunder beneath the fragile surface of Europe. In the early years of the 20th century, the world was a powder keg waiting for a single spark. Empires ruled vast territories, proud, ambitious, and paranoid. Britain commanded the seas. Germany rose with industrial might and burning pride. France longed for revenge, still haunted by the ghosts of old wars. Russia was restless, its empire trembling beneath the weight of change. And the Ottoman Empire, once mighty, was clinging to its final breath. Each nation believed it was destined to shape the world, but none could see the darkness they were summoning. In Vienna, in Berlin, in London, political leaders spoke of peace, yet behind their words were secret treaties, silent alliances, and whispered promises of power. Europe's map was no longer just geography. It was a chessboard, and every move brought the world closer to disaster. Factories roared as new weapons were born, guns larger than houses, bullets that could pierce through armor and the hearts of nations. The age of diplomacy was fading, and the age of destruction was being born. Then came June 28, 1914, Sarajevo, a summer morning that would change the course of history. A single bullet shattered the fragile peace. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, lay dead, assassinated by a young nationalist who believed he was fighting for freedom. But his act became the spark that ignited the world. Within days, telegrams flew across Europe, ultimatums, threats, and the sounds of soldiers marching to their fate. For the ordinary people, it was confusion and pride. In the streets, men cheered. They believed they were marching for honor. They waved flags and sang songs of glory. But they could not yet see the horror that awaited them, the trenches, the gas, the endless fields of death. Mothers cried with both pride and fear. Fathers stood tall, hiding the dread in their eyes. Young men promised they'd return by Christmas. But Christmas came, and they did not return.
The leaders called it strategy, but history called it madness. The alliances of Europe, what once promised unity, became chains that dragged every empire into the abyss. When one nation fell, others followed. When one leader demanded war, millions obeyed. And so, in a matter of weeks, a local conflict became the Great War, the war to end all wars. From the glittering palaces of Vienna to the dusty streets of Istanbul, from the factories of London to the villages of France, the political storm consumed everyone. The Ottomans sided with Germany. Britain vowed to protect its empire. France burned with vengeance. And Russia marched toward chaos and revolution. No one could stop it now. The dominoes had fallen. The world had set itself on fire. And yet, in the chaos of kings and politicians, there were voices that cried for peace. Voices that history often forgets. Writers, mothers, priests, and poets all begged the leaders to listen. But greed spoke louder than compassion. Pride drowned out mercy. The storm that began with ambition would end with ashes. This was the true beginning of the Great War, not in the trenches, but in the hearts of men who believed they could control destiny. But destiny, once awakened, answers to no one. And thus, the world entered its darkest hour, an age of chaos and courage, of kings who gambled with nations and soldiers who paid the price with their lives. Empires that once shone with pride crumbled into dust. The roar of cannons faded, but the echoes of their choices still haunt us today. History is not just the story of the past, it's the mirror of our future. And if we forget its lessons, we are doomed to repeat its mistakes. So, if this journey through the shadows of the Great War has moved you, if you believe that history deserves to be told with truth and heart, then subscribe to this channel. Because together, we're not just watching history, we're reviving it. Like this video to help more people discover the untold stories. Comment your thoughts. Your voice matters here. And repeat this story with someone who still believes that the past can teach us about who we are today. This is not just a channel. This is a movement to keep the echoes of time alive. You're part of history now. Let's continue this journey.